for hire or a design firm. We are not a strictly manufacturing services company. We design something from specifications, and we make revenues when we sell finished goods. Right, so products. So you can see the examples of some of these things that we have designed, we manufacture, and we sell to customers outside. Right, so we own our IP. We never sell it. We license IP in some cases. But everything we do is something that we keep. Correct? We reuse, we reuse. Now, typically when we go to market, we either go to market with something called off-the-shelf products. So customer can buy from a catalog, can buy either 1, 10, 15, 100, and it's usually delivered from stock. So that's called an off-the-shelf model. Then we also have something called a reference design models, which is built to order, meaning the design is already done, but we don't carry it in stock. So because each OEM would require some changes around that, right? So we use it as a reference, and then we go to OEMs and developers, and they would say, I don't want this serial port, I want this. Can you add, a hard drive to this? Can you put Linux on it? And then we create that product and we ship it. So that's called a reference design selling. It's typically not carried on stock. Okay. And third is what we call is a full custom design. A customer gives us a spec, typically the requirement, this thing should do this, it should look like this, it should cost us this, and here is our volume expectation. And then we design to their spec, but they buy product from us, and they don't buy design. So we have 3 ways we go to customers. So that's what Infoece is. Now Infoece does 100% R&D in India. Okay. We not of course do R&D, we also sell and support. So Darshan manages the sales for India. We are hiring resellers and channel partners to carry our products. We have a full support team which provides support worldwide. And when I say support, it's not only technical support, it also what we call reverse logistics support, meaning a board fails in the field. We either replace it if it is in warranty, we do a failure analysis, we do root cause analysis, and all of that happens also within India. So which is a little bit unique in India today because not many companies are able to provide to that level of customer support. And so we are building our company on that foundation. So today we have some success stories already. Okay, so now that's. You have any questions about Infoece or this kind of? Yeah.
Is that your main USP?
USP. I mean, you can say that if because the customer buys things from us, right? Our USP is that I have to compete with companies like Quantrons and Taiwanese companies, and I have to compete on price. I have to compete on feature. I have to compete on support. So that is our USP. Right? We are not, and of course other things we have is what we call embedded. But today, one of the reasons we got interested. 5 years back, I was talking to a director at Intel in the US, and they were heavily investing in embedded markets in India. And so they were saying that one of the issues they feel Indian customers need is a stable embedded supply chain. Meaning, for instance, there is a board called IFC 9300. Correct. Now, there are probably, I would say in India, there are 5 different products that would do something very similar to that. But almost all of them are not on embedded roadmap, meaning that today they will be of that I/O and that form factor. Tomorrow, when the manufacturer decides to go to a newer generation, this form factor will be gone. So the customer who has built a system has created a system. They can no longer buy the same board, right? So, we are in the embedded market segment. Anything we do sells for 5 to 7 years. Okay, so the same product, no changes. We call it supply assurance, life cycle up to 7 years. And so that's one of the, I would say, very, very, what we call an important selling point for us to a customer. The customer is looking for a Chinese motherboard. He's probably not going to find any real value in Infoece. He's going to find the cheapest reseller of that motherboard and buy that and move on. And we don't have much to offer. But the customer who is coming up with a home automation solution and now creating a full product, designing sheet metals, boxes, enclosures, he wants to make sure that the electronics that he's going to use doesn't change, in 9 months or a year. Correct? So for them, we are tremendously helpful. We are doing, we are selling board to a home automation company, and they want support. So we are every 2 days, we are talking to them. This is how we can do this. We are doing custom development for them. So we, customers finding value there. An off-the-shelf Chinese motherboard is not going to work.
So where do you stand when you compare to Contra?
We would like to be like Contra in terms of how they're able to support, offer the different diversity of products, right? Only thing Contron is not, I don't think they are able to support customers to this extent, right? So we are working with OEMs directly, and when they buy our board, then they would say, but I would like to have RS-232 to RS-485, in a full duplex mode, correct? So we are saying, okay, no problem. We'll just give you a designable adaptive part, or we will do this and we'll do that, and we take care of his product development, which I believe Comtron is not able to do. I don't want to speak on their behalf, but we feel that we have an edge there. In local engineering here, we can very quickly do it.
Where do you stand in the world? What is your level?
I'm sorry.
In terms of the ratings, if I have to ask you, you're the number one in the world or number
No, we are very small. We are a startup, right? So we are still trying to make our name in this industry. Now, all of us, I was in embedded industry for 25 years. When Comtron was not even there, we were running Force computers, and we were in the same business. Our investors are the same. So we understand this market very well, correct? But we want to approach it slightly differently. We are not using India for, because the R&D is cheaper. We are using India because we feel that we can go, support the entire world with the talent we have here. And so we are creating the model slightly different.
So what kind of vectors does the company focus on?
Verticals. So very loosely, we are still targeting 4 verticals. We call industrial, medical, education, and data center. And we were just talking about it this morning. We think that devices are getting smarter. So there is some common features that go across the board, some horizontal features, and then there are industry specific. So, but these are the 4 verticals. And for instance, I think Darshan is really gung-ho on industrial smart energy.
Yeah, I think we are targeting industrial vertical, particular. A lot of action is happening in the smart energy, the smart grid sector. Predominantly, that sector has been actually not focused into, but I think there are a couple of directives from the government, and as you know, the energy crisis. I think that is one sector which we are targeting. These use basically smart, as Jayant was telling. They use smart devices. They're rubberized because they go out in the field, and we hope to develop the sector on the vertical to lead good results.
So what products do you have already for each of these verticals that you mentioned?
As you said, there are a gamut of products which go There are some specs which go horizontally, and some specs which we develop into the products depending on the customer requirement. That's where we are different from the competition, because competition would just have that much to offer. So we kind of do R&D with the customer depending on what specifications it requires, and bring it onto the boards.
The examples of, as I was telling you, there are three things. Off the shelf, so you can see, for instance, that IFC 9300 is an Intel Atom-based embedded single board computer. That's available off the shelf. Right. Now that's been tested to run over extended temperatures. So it's very good for industrial. There's features like auto power on, power off, which are also uniquely sort of geared for industrial automation market. So that's doing very well in that market. There is IFC 9450, which is a similar product with a different Atom processor. That what you see there is an IFC 7500, which is it's actually a set-top box processor. It's an IPTV set-top box. We've done a custom design. It's a full custom design for the product. Then there is a product called System 9402, which you see the picture here. This is going into education market. We have probably, I would say, close to 100 universities worldwide that are now deployed in the lab with this system, and it's in partnership with Intel. And Intel has actually even developed textbooks, embedded textbook based on this particular system. So a lot of IITs here in India already have this. So other institutions, even in Bangalore, there are institutions that are already using this in their lab. But worldwide universities like Johns Hopkins, Carnegie Mellon, which are tier 1 colleges in the US, they actually also have that.
What is the application that it is using? Like in education market, what kind of?
So these are in labs, right? So these are typically, they have different projects. The lab, they will come up with. Intel actually runs a contest, for instance. So I don't know if you heard about this. Intel has opened up a contest of creating applications in embedded world, and they have provided these platforms to all the participating universities and say, here is the platform, come up with a unique application, and whoever wins, the application, the award, is a huge financial award. And so different applications are coming out, out of that. Yeah.
So what kind of technical challenges were faced when you increase the, like you said that it can handle different kinds of temperatures and on the field, apparatus for shock proofing?
Yeah, so that's a very good question, and I think you picked it up correctly. I think putting something in the industry today, industrial environment, is just beyond temperature. Temperature is one thing, but the devices are getting smarter. Correct? So every device, even industrial device now, is connected. Right? So putting connectivity and having that connection available 24/7 is very difficult, and ability to test reliability-wise, ability to test performance-wise, all of that is little difficult in India right now. The know-how is still coming up in that field, but we feel that we made good progress. We are continuing to do and learn. The customers are learning also what they require. So we had a customer. He was in the industrial area, and he was putting this insulation on a height, and these are connected, on towers. Right now, if a software for some reason crashed, somebody has to go up the tower and reset the system. Correct? So he did not envision that's going to happen, right? And we also learned. So we quickly came up with a solution. So the system automatically now, monitors itself, and if the software's crashed, it will automatically reset and get back to its previous context, right? So we provided that little piece of. No, the solution was not expensive, but the customer didn't know. We didn't know, but so we learned and we put a little bit of a small innovation in there that's now working for him, and also so we are progressing that way. So many times the customers also a little bit new because they are going after the market which is also new.
So what is the Indian R&D focusing on right now?
That's we by the way, what you see today here are some of the products. We also do custom designs for some US and European customers. So there is sort of very complex designs that are going on. So our focus is always to find a little bit of a complexity in design. So that's what typically the focus on. It's usually board designs, validation, verification, UL, safety, environmental. The world is now requiring. In India we still haven't had it, but in Europe, we can't ship anything unless it has a REACH certification, it has a V and RoHS environmental certification. So we are, our guys are learning. Hopefully India also at some point will mandate these things, and we would already at that point we already have that knowledge. So we do end-to-end design here.
So everything is done in-house. Nothing else. Maybe you don't have any solution providers for a particular.
No, it's a full ecosystem. We today we do a lot of it in-house. We do all our labs. We work with UL for safety and compliance certification. We are always looking at partners who can help us out. But unfortunately, in India, that layer is just not readily available right now. So we are hoping, because we can scale well, if we can outsource and use it sort of ecosystem to do some of the more common things, then we can scale well.
So what are the latest trends in this industrial automation field? Is there something evolutionary happening?
I think Android is kind of changing the way things behave, right? So we feel that a cell phone is Android. We see the GUI, but inside it there is a kernel and Android running, and we see Android kind of changing the major inflection point. It is changing everything.
So were there any particular challenges when you ported Android onto your systems?
There are still challenges. It's because the porting is not an issue with Android. What we see is that certain things require certain processing, and people generally have a misnomer about I can run Android and do video conferencing, for instance, right? Or I can do Android and I can do fingerprint recognition, or I can put a biometrics. The trouble is that there is the underlying processing horsepower, and so people are starting to find out that a 400 megahertz processor can only do this much. You can't do a video conferencing on an HD level, for instance, right? So there is a full learning process that's going on right now. Yeah.
You give us a rundown on Smart and what it is actually.
See, there are various companies which are getting into this smart energy. Some are already well established. The main requirement is to see, cut down rather transmission losses, thefts, which is happening in the energy sector, which government has no control over. And they have actually formed a forum, which is led by, I think, the Minister Sam. I'm not sure if the Minister is the councillor over here. Sam Petronka, who was the telecom show earlier. And they are actually incubating ideas, innovations, where you can look at a better energy saving in terms of transmission losses, and you save quite a lot of energy, and obviously you save a lot of bucks, big bucks. So there are a lot of companies who have innovated very good designs which are based on hardware and software, and that's where we are trying to focus on. So that whole space is getting actually a focus from the government, and there are a lot of uh, Indian institutes like IIC, IIT working on it along with it.
Do smart grids come under?
Yes, smart grids, smart energy. It's right from the from the production side to the consumption side to the last mile. So it's a whole gamut of industries.
So, could you give us, like, what is the average experience of the engineers there?
We have fresh engineers, and we have all the way up to 15 to 20 years.
So, what kind of skill sets do you focus on when you hire?
For a fresh engineer, I mean, I focus on people who are not already, molded by those, services companies, because we are slightly in a different model. We want folks to come here with ideas, sort of out of the box thinking, so that's one key ingredient. Other than that, the skill side, experience with using some of the CAD tools for signal integrities, high-speed simulations, experience with end-to-end, because we find a lot of people who are very good at doing front-end design, but once the design is prototyped, built, then it needs to be brought up, powered on, tested, verified, and then the last step is what we call product integrity testing, which is going into the UL, making sure the EMC, safety, interferences, all of that. So full cycle. So we can provide opportunities, but somebody that we hire must have that. No, I want to be doing this, right? I understand this is not a schematics and go home kind of a job, and so that culture needs to be there.
So, how do you usually hire? Like, do you have any partnerships with universities or something?
We don't have partnership with universities. We have had some success with the local Ramania College, right? We hired some freshers there. Otherwise, it's a lot of word to mouth. People will call now everything is online, these young guys would immediately, go and, so they will find, sir, I have somebody, who used to be with my college, with my accent. So we find a lot of folks that way.
Future is going to be online.
There's always something going on the side.
Which we are not used to it.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't have Facebook. I don't have Twitter. I mean, I'm still. But they are very smart. So I think it's fantastic because many companies try to block that. I'm very happy with that.
I mean, I think Intel doesn't have those facilities of no Gmail, no Facebook, nothing, no social
No
media,
Skype,
nothing.
I'm quite okay with that. Yeah, I just don't want people to download videos because it creates a lot of viruses. otherwise, I think this is the young people's life. I mean, my son, he's in college, but when he's doing homework, there's always something going on the side. That's the way they are used to. That's what they do. So it's okay.
That's what we do. I'm just 22.
Yeah.
The future is like, Dad, I want this, and you better give it to me.
Yeah, that's
it's
right.
going to be like that.
So,
So, when you hire, have you felt that not all engineers are employable? Like last year, NASCOM said only 25% of the graduates, engineering graduates, are actually employable. Have you felt something like that?
No, not at all. I think we haven't had. I don't know that. I find that it's hard to find experience level. That's one of the biggest challenges we are having. Actually, somewhat of a block, why we are not able to grow faster is the experience level is hard to find here right now.
What about your growth plans? Are you planning to increase your headcount?
Yes, we are using this office is still not 100% occupied. We are 100% looking really, yeah. But we are building, we're building a company in the sense that, so we are not only looking for engineers, we're looking for marketing people, we're looking for customers, people who are good with customers, have some outbound skills.
What are the significance of the Indian market for your operations?
In terms of mind share, we spend a lot of time trying to figure out a way to harness some of the potential here. In terms of revenue plans, we still think that India is growing in the sense that we are not putting all eggs in this basket. But definitely, if there is a way we can, we start. I think there is a tremendous growth for us. Just the numbers are so phenomenal. And to give an example, in the US, we don't get inquiries from individual developers. We are usually working with large OEMs like Cisco's or IBM's, and here I come, and Darshan has every day 5 new business cases, which are all innovative. So somebody wants to do something like this, somebody wants to do something like this. So there is so many things going on, and if there's some way, we can even take 10% of that. I think you would be growing phenomenally. I think there is no doubt about it.
So where do you see this industry in another 10 years' time? I mean, it's going to be something like IT, or it's going to be the electronics next.
Which industry?
I'm talking about the electronic industry as a whole.
Because in India, the electronic industry is mostly today is IT, right? I mean, that's what most people are. But I feel that there is there's companies in Pune and Mumbai, and there's companies in some Hyderabad and Chennai, and they are developing unique products, right? For different, home automation is there. There are companies that are doing, for instance, there was a business case. They are developing a particular technology for emergency medical. Because they said people are getting hurt on the road, and then they have to be brought back into the hospital for X-ray and scanning and all that, correct? So there's valuable times getting lost, person is hurt. So they have they've developed this technology, the chip, that can go and supposed to do a video-based analysis and detect fractures, for instance. Correct? Now they came to us and said, hey, can you make a board so that we can use this chip? So that to me is a very highly innovative product. Right? Now that electronic industry, I think, I don't know about 10 years, but I think, all these people that are asking questions to us from IITs about different applications, products, I think in the next 2-3 years, I think this is going to boom, right? And I hope that we are part of it. And I really hope, that people take notice of what we are trying to do. I mean, every place there is innovation going on, and so many places. So,
Could you mention a particular innovative thing that has really got your interest?
I gave you the example of this particular one, right? The emergency, right? So there is one. There was another one that was also something very similar, but it was to detect, this explosives. So if you go in the hotel and they put this mirror under the thing, it is less these days, right? But there was this company that was making some sensors, and it was a company, I believe Intel had funded, right? And they needed a product so they can automatically sense. I think this video analysis field, for a very simple example, video analysis. It's already deployed today, in different ways, right? So, traffic light camera. I don't know if we have it here in India. Traffic light cameras.
They've got it in some places.
Some places, right? So it's a very simple example. You're speeding. The speed sensor would tell you that this person is speeding, or has crossed the intersection on red. So you take a picture of that person, right? And then you automatically, infer the license tag. And that's just pixels at that point, graphics. So then they take from the pixels, they create a license plate ID, and they will go and find out who the owner of this car is, and then automatically issue, a notice, a ticket, right? So that is a basic example of a video analysis. So I think this video-based analytics is going to go, because you see cameras are becoming inexpensive, the sensors are getting more and more integrated in every device. So it will happen, I think.
So those are all the questions I've got.
Okay.
Thank you for answering them.